Hello, it is Thursday, April 16th. My name is Iggy, of course you know that. And yes, I am feeling better for those who asked, thank you. Getting back to it real quick, the reason why we missed last Thursday's episode of the podcast, which would have been episode 5, is because unfortunately I was a bit under the weather. I guess I wasn't used to talking as much, so all the extra podcasts, plus with my job in sales at work, I burnt out the vocal cords, as it were. I could still talk, but it didn't sound great, and I'm still kind of getting over that, so if you do hear that, I apologize. I hope you guys enjoyed this past weekend of baseball. It was a absolutely fantastic one that capped off I like a 4-day weekend myself, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I like that a lot, but sadly, sometimes I don't get that. I did get yesterday off, though, so it made it a 3-day weekend for Jackie Robinson Day. Happy belated Jackie Robinson Day to everybody. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to dive into. We're going to talk about the AL and NL Players of the Week. We're going to talk about how the Rangers went off for 11 against the Angels. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the Dodgers, their opening celebrations, and some things that I wish I could have saved it to another week, but it's bugging me. So stuff I don't like about baseball in my province of Manitoba that is going to take me on a little bit of a rant, as you'll see coming up. All that and a lot more coming up right here on episode 5 of the New School Baseball Podcast. Stay tuned. Alrighty, a little intro music. Let's add this production value to this podcast. Just a quick little addition I forgot to add on the intro there. I totally forgot to mention that for updates about if I will or will not be, one, doing that extra little bonus Sunday stream, which I'm going to hopefully try to do, a little bit more, just talk some baseball with you fine folks, as well as the extra little stream, if I miss any podcasts recording or editing wise, stay tuned to my Twitter, twitter.com/Iggy772, at Iggy772 is my handle, on Twitter or Instagram, actually. Instagram, I'm on there a lot too, posting like the stories and stuff. So there's that. Keep an eye out for updates there. Other than that, let's jump right into it. Jackie Robinson Day yesterday. And for a guy like me who is far from Caucasian, not that there's anything wrong with Caucasian, I am not Caucasian. Without Jackie Robinson, I wouldn't be playing baseball. Period. Like, I would not be playing baseball. I would not be probably allowed to do a lot of things. He was a huge leader in the civil rights movement in the States. And even though I'm from Canada, where we didn't really have any of that kind of animosity, we did not on such a grand scale. And I think with Jackie Robinson, one, playing with the Montreal Royals, and then making it into professional baseball, he kind of paved the way for a lot of people to go, oh, like, people of color are just people. They're not whatever we thought they were. And obviously, like, that's like an obvious thing to everyone nowadays, but it's one of those things where at the time it kind of needed to be realized by everybody. And I think, and this is just my personal opinion on it, I don't think I would be the same person I am if it wasn't for Jackie Robinson. Like, I remember reading books about him in I want to say elementary school, and like when I first started kind of getting interested in baseball, I was like 9, 10, and I hadn't played yet. I started playing when I was 11, and it was just one of those things where he was he was so good, like he was just like his worst season was still an all-star season, like um, he was so good, and he played the game the right way, and he kind of just kept on going and kept grinding and didn't listen to the bullshit that anyone else said, and there was a lot of bullshit, and that kind of inspired me to be a player who kind of just plays the game the right way. Always be a team guy, never an I guy, like that kind of stuff. And I mean, he's the reason why I wear number 46, because it was the closest number to 42 when we were picking our jerseys out, and it was a little bit big on me. It was definitely a youth large, and I was like a youth medium. But whatever, it was the closest number to 42, so that was my jersey, and I've been 46 ever since. So I mean, that's just kind of the personal connection I have with Jackie Robinson. It's so impersonal. He lived his life, had no clue who I was, and I know so much about him though, and he's influenced me so much, and he's kind of shaped the way I am today. So there's a lot to be said for the respect I have for Jackie Robinson and what he did, and for those that are interested in some of the work that I believe his children and his wife were doing. I believe now it's kind of run. I think there's still a family aspect in there, but I believe more now it's a little bit more of a. This is gonna sound wrong. It's like more of a corporate thing now. It's a little bit more of a business and all that, but it's like a non-profit, so it's a charity. It's the Jackie Robinson Foundation. They help out underprivileged areas and stuff like that, and communities, and it's a really good cause. So if you guys have the time to check it out, you guys want to donate, I'll link it down in the description actually. JackieRobinsonFoundation.org, I believe, is the actual domain address. You can go there, check it out. If you guys can't donate or volunteer, of course, there's other ways you can help out that charity, spread the word on them, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, there's not a whole lot more to say, but respect for the greatest 42 to ever wear the number. The reason why it's retired across all 30 clubs, and yeah, thank you, Jackie. Thank you. So moving on to some awards for this week, the MLB has named Austin Meadows the AL Player of the Week. Austin seemed to have his bat come alive. I believe he's been around the league for a couple of years. Kind of as at first bit, it was kind of just like a call up guy. Came up for some extended injuries, went back down with Tampa Bay, and kind of came up, came down, came up, came down. Did some stuff, not a whole lot. Last year, if I'm not mistaken, was his first year. And if I'm completely wrong, please let me know down in the comments below, guys. But I believe last year was his first real year in the big leagues. Nothing to laugh at, nothing to sneeze at, but nothing crazy, no all-star numbers. This week, he seems to have busted out of a shell. He's hitting for power. He's hitting some oppo field home runs, as you saw in the past week against the Sox. He's hitting bloop singles. He's hitting hard hit balls to the wall. He's kind of getting a piece of everything. So, as a fellow American League East fan, and the Blue Jays, and as one of the rival teams in the American League East. It's really tough to appreciate them, but I mean, this year the Jays are doing nothing, so I hope you can keep it up, and hopefully the Rays find something that works, because in previous years they've had no fan support, and you couldn't blame them. They had no pitching to speak of, really, and when they did, they had no run support. And the years when they were scoring runs, they had no defense, so they were getting outscored, 16-14 kind of deal. So that was definitely an interesting one for the Player of the Week this week. Congrats to him, AL Player of the Week, and of course NL Player of the Week. Someone who, without a doubt, honestly, Ronald Acuna Jr. Guy signs a huge 8-year extension with the Braves. Him and Alex Anthopoulos reach a deal. Then all of a sudden, bang, bang, boom, his bat turns hot. He's hitting bombs, multiple bombs, it seems like every night. He's going deep. He's screaming him off the wall. And just when he needs it, when they're starting to play him super deep, he'll bloop in a single there and cash a run for a sacrifice single, like blooper, or sorry, not a sacrifice single, a sac fly, or a single, like a little bloop single that cashes in a run that way. So congrats to both of those players, AL and NL Players of the Week. Moving on, also one notable to Chris Davis, Crush Davis, the man, the myth, the legend from Oakland, California. He's the first hitter to hit 10 home runs in 2019, so congratulations to him. Good job to all you people who picked him up in fantasy. Good God, his points are just ridiculous. I was going to do a little bit of a segment next where I talked about the upcoming games for tomorrow, who to bet on. We'll kind of briefly transition to that one. Blue Jays Twins. Look at today's game so far. It's 1-0 as it stands as the time of recording it for the Twins. So it's I would say bet Twins on that one. Twins outright win. I'm not looking up any lines, so just who to take really. Astros Athletics 11-5 versus 10-9. It's hard not to say the Astros. 2 years ago they were the World Series champions. They got the same kind of core, but the Athletics, you can't really sleep on them. Like today, they don't play till 9:07. But looking at yesterday's game, they had an off night. All right, last series. Yeah, see, they lost to the Rangers though. I don't know. Expect a bounce back probably, but the Astros are going to be a tough one. Brewers and Cardinals, I'm not even going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. I want to say Brewers. I want to bet Brewers, but Cardinals, you can't sleep on them. That's almost a coin flip. Reds and Dodgers, same thing. Reds and Dodgers. I mean, Reds had the lead right up until the 9th inning, and then there was that walk-off home run by young Jock. So that's another tough one. I would say if the Reds are 5-10, go Dodgers. Dodgers for the win on that game. Nationals over Giants, 7-7 versus 7-10. I would say that's a coin flip. Go Nationals, I guess. However, don't sleep on Pilar hitting a home run. If they have those prop bets, definitely pick that up. Mets Phillies, 10-6 Mets versus the 9-6 Phillies. I want to say Mets will take that one, hopefully. You can't sleep on Harper, though, what they're doing with the Phillies. So that's another close one. Royals, White Sox. White Sox will most likely win that. I don't know. The Royals do have Whit Merrifield. If that's the case, fuck. I'd say Royals. A lot of the thing, too, is I don't watch a lot of these games, a lot of these teams. So it's tough for me to bet on them. Red Sox, Yankees, bet Yankees. Red Sox can't fucking find a run if it was trapped inside a wet paper bag with them. Mariners, Indians, Mariners all the way. Pirates, Tigers, Pirates all the way. Orioles, Rays, Rays all the way. Cubs, Marlins, Cubs all the way. D-backs, Braves, Braves for days. Angels, Rangers, Angels all day for sure. I'm trying to work out a bet thing where it shows my bets. So But yeah, listen back if you like to bet and see if I was right and if I was wrong. And if I was wrong, let me know. There's that. Now we're going to transition to a bit that I personally think is what's killing baseball in Manitoba and what will eventually kill baseball in Canada. That is the fact that it's so hard. For those of you who don't know, baseball in Manitoba, there's your age groups, right? There's Mosquito, Pee Wee, Bantam, what used to be Midget, which is now, I believe, just U18. I don't know if they've renamed it. Then there's Junior and Senior, which is what I play. In each of the age groups, there's Mosquito, not Mosquito. I believe there's only AA. There might be AAA. I don't know. I don't coach Mosquito. I don't coach little kids, so it's gonna be tough for me to recall on that since I've played. But for most of the age groups, it starts up the best play AAA. The guys who aren't so great play A ball, single A ball. And if you're kind of in the middle, you're better than an A ball player, but you're not quite AAA caliber. You play AA. Career-wise, I was mainly a AA player most of my career. I did have a brief couple seasons where I played AAA, but with the time commitment and working and everything else, it was really tough. So I mostly played AA. It's great. AAA, don't get me wrong. Okay, I don't have anything against AAA. It's not like, oh, you weren't a career AAA player, you're just shitting on the league that you weren't a part of. No, it's nothing like that. Like I've coached AAA, I've umpired AAA. A lot of the guys I play with currently were either AAA kids growing up, and then they as when you get to senior, you're kind of just in one league kind of deal. But it's interesting to watch as a career AA player. So the way it worked was, I was in the age where there was never a lot of kids playing ball, but there was always enough to field two teams at an age group. Some years they have enough for one team. Some years they have enough for now, and some years they have enough. They have two AAA teams, two AA teams, and two A ball teams. They have that many kids, which is great. That's fantastic. I love seeing those years. But what's killing guys from keeping on playing the game is the attitude that AAA is God's gift to Earth. That's not the players. I know a lot of AAA players, and I'm still friends with a lot to this day. There's a lot of guys I went to high school with that were the AAA guys, and whenever I get called up, I know those guys. They went to the same high school as me, and whatever else. So it's not like I'm trying to shit all over AAA players. It's nothing like that. It's the people that run the communities around the teams. So obviously there's a lot of time and effort put into AAA, as there should be. But there should also be maybe not the same time and effort, the same effort, not the same time for AA and single A. I feel like AAA, it's 100% AAA, or sorry, 95% AAA, 3% AA, 4% AA, 1% A ball, and the 1% is, do we have a team? Do we have a coach? Yeah, okay, they're set. So what I find a lot of the times is you have kids that want to play ball, who either are first year kids or maybe their skills aren't there yet. They get put in a league like A ball, which is fine. I've played A ball. I started in A ball. It's not a big huge deal to play A ball. You're playing baseball. You're playing the greatest game in the world. It's fun enough. But the thing is, it's really emphasized on let's go out there and have fun instead of let's go out there and get better. So what a lot of times that happens is, and you'll see it with some communities that aren't really big. Let's say an out-of-town community. Like I live in a city, but there's smaller communities outside of towns that are close enough that they can drive in and still play. So a lot of those teams, they'll have a AAA team, and instead of having a AA team that gets crushed, they'll have a really stacked A-ball team because they just want to win, right? which is fine. Do what you gotta do. But eventually, what happens is more and more communities start doing that, and more clubs start doing that, and so now these A-ball players, they either stop playing because their spot is no longer available, or what happens is they keep playing because they love the game and they love their buddies, and they want to hang out and have a good time, but they just get steamrolled over and over and over again. It wasn't uncommon for some A-ball teams I've either seen of while coaching, like heard of while coaching, like affiliated teams, like the A-ball team of the team I was coaching, or I've umpired teams where I go, hey coach, how's your season going? And he goes, well, we're hoping for a win. And I go, oh, like today? And he's like, no, for the season. And I turn around and I go, it's the last game of the season here, coach. And he goes, yeah, I know. And it's just one of those things. Now, is that the coach's fault? Not completely. Some of these coaches are great. I know there's a lot of coaches that at the lower levels that understand the game and love the game and work to improve their players. There's also a lot of coaches that just understand that, hey, if I don't step up and volunteer to coach as a parent, my kid's not going to play ball this year, so I might as well do that. And you can tell those coaches because they don't understand the rules. Their defensive alignments are off. Their offensive strategies are off. 2 outs and you have a guy dropping a bunt trying to get on base, stuff like that. So it's very tough for kids to get behind that, because now not only are you having kids who understand the game and parents who understand the game going, this guy's a fucking idiot, but then you have players who might not understand the game, players who might still be learning the game, thinking that it's okay to drop a bunt down to try to get on base with 2 outs. And in some situations it is. I'm not gonna sit here and say I know every situation where it's good or where it's bad, where it's ugly. But what I am gonna say is generally on a team that's struggling to generate offense, to have a player who might be a first year or a rookie player or a player that has some developmental issues, to drop a bunt down and try and leg it out whatever the 40, 50, 60, 80, 90 feet to first base, it's really tough for that to be a thing that happens and for it to be okay, let alone now have another person step into the box and try and bat him around, not be out, bat that run in, not be out. It's insurmountable. It's insurmountable. It's very tough, but 2-out rallies do happen. We've seen that in baseball. It's just a very it's a very amateur strategy, and I feel like that's part of the reason with a lot of losses, a lot of coaches who don't know the game. It's causing kids to go, I'm not playing ball next year. Like their parents will make sure that they finish the season. I've seen a few kids drop out of the mid-season, but they'll finish the season and then all of a sudden it will be, yeah, I'm not coming back next year. I don't want to sit there. I want to sweat in the hot sun with all these practices and all these games and just get stomped day in, day out, day after day, after week, after week, after month, after month. Like I can totally understand where that's a definitely a mindset some players have. Like if I walked into work every day and I just kept getting berated by my boss day in, day out, your sales numbers aren't high enough, and I personally would be putting up decent numbers, whereas let's say they're not high enough for this unrealistic standard, or no matter what number I show up, depending on what the situation was, let's say there's only 2 customers that come into work, or I only have there's only X amount of product for me to sell, then if I sell all of it and they go, your numbers aren't high enough, what am I supposed to do here? Is the feeling I would get. And I totally understand where these players are coming from. I understand the parents not wanting to force their kids into doing something that the kid doesn't want to do. And it's no fault of the coach who doesn't know anything for not knowing anything. I view it as the organization. The whole way down, from the community down, there's someone who knows something about baseball and someone who doesn't. It's on the people who know stuff about baseball to pass that along, because not only will your like we get it and it's really weird. It's a really big it's a really big boys club baseball. It's a lot of who you know and who likes you and who brings you into certain things, and you start going to more things, and eventually people start meeting start liking you, and you start going to more things, and all of a sudden you start getting special jobs within the community, and then it kind of that's how your baseball post playing career or your managerial career might start. Let's say the the amount of people who think that they are God's gift to baseball is absolutely hysterical. I won't say any names, but in Winnipeg, the city where I live, around, there is there was a junior double A program. So junior being 18 to 21. So there's a triple A program still, and there was a double A program. The teams that played in that were there's about six at one point. Two folded. Then there was four. They tried to do a year with four. They did. It wasn't great, and eventually the league folded. Now that junior double A team is playing. That league moved up into senior, so you have it's essentially senior double A is what it is, and that league is going great. That league is starting to kind of flourish as it is, but you have a lot of people who aren't good enough to play junior triple A who are looking for some place to play, and there's nothing for them. So now you have all these kids who are turning 18, and they're going to go play slow pitch. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, go do what you want to do. But for the kids that want to keep playing competitive baseball, there's nothing for them to do. It's, well, you're 18, and they've never had a coach that's been connected, because they've never had a coach that's been necessarily a great coach. They've had a coach that's been connected to other double A coaches, but nothing that's been connected beyond that. So you have kids, like I came across an email today where it was brought to my attention that one of our coaches received, and I believe he forwarded it to me. He emailed Baseball Manitoba saying, "Hey, my name is so and so. I've aged out of U18. I'm looking for a junior team to play for. I have no connections. I have no contacts. I don't know anything. I just want to play ball." Baseball Manitoba reached back out to them, told, "Hey, this is our junior affiliated list and our senior affiliated list. Here's all the contact info for both the leagues. Feel free." The person reached out to a club that is very close in proximity to the club I play for. He emailed their head coach. I'm not gonna name names, but he essentially said, "Hey, like I gave him he spelled out the details, saying, this is my name, this is who I played for. I've aged out of U18. I want to play, or 18U. I want to play junior. I don't have any contacts. Is there a spot on your squad, or is there tryouts?" And this is early April, like maybe late February, early April. And this junior AAA coach asks him, where, like, a little bit more in depth, who have you played for, what levels, that kind of stuff. And the person responded back with, "Oh, I've played Double A for a certain club for basically my entire career." That person, the head coach of the AAA squad, then basically told his assistant coach, "Hey, find this kid somewhere to play. Maybe junior double A. Maybe that league will take him." Junior double A hasn't been around in 4 years. That's how conceited this guy is, where he thinks that he's too good for any player who's only played double A, and this is the same coach who regularly has a 9-man squad with no bench. Regularly. Like, this is the issue that Baseball Manitoba has, is people think they're better than other people. And I'm not talking skill-wise, I'm thinking ego-wise. I'm talking, like, if you think you're God's gift to baseball, you're turning this kid away from a tryout just because he's only played Double A and you regularly have a 9-man bench. Give your fucking head a shake. Like, give your head a shake. Like, that's ridiculous. Sure, like, a senior will take him. We'll take all your quote rejects. We'll get them in a spot, and I think the way that we're going with, if it goes according to plan, we will find a way to counteract junior AAA, and have a league that is of its own. But that's the problem with baseball in Manitoba right now, is that people think they're better than other people based off of where they play and how long they've played where they've played. And until you have an organization who instills good coaching from the top to the bottom, whose concern isn't about championships but about developing players and making players better, it's just going to keep pushing kids away and keep pushing kids away and keep pushing kids away until there's no kids left to play ball. And then those clubs go, oh, I wonder why there's no kids signing up this year. It's mind-blowing how many times I've heard that. And it's mind-blowing how many times I go, well, your fees are $500. Or, well, they're playing 10 o'clock games on a Tuesday. Like, let's not forget, you're under 18. Even when you are 18, you generally have school. You have university. At that point, it's a little bit more on your own after 18 to be able to handle that. But life isn't just baseball, unfortunately, in Manitoba. You have to be able to work. You have to go to school. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. You have to be a human student athlete, as Pat McAfee says. You're a human first, then you're a student first, second, then you're an athlete. You gotta manage all of that. And for clubs to think that, and they handle it like it's the majors, where they assume that they're always going to get the same numbers. They assume that they're always going to get the same funding. It's a real kick in the teeth when they don't, because then they scramble, and then they're like, oh, we need fundraising. No, you need to be able to handle your club better. You need to be able to manage your money. You need to be able to manage player fees. You need to understand that good coaches aren't just falling out of the sky. If you have a good coach, treat them right. But anyways, that's enough of my rant for the day. I feel like I'm just gonna spin in circles on this one. If your city or town has the same similar situation for their baseball team, please let me know down in the comments below. I'd be very interested, especially if you're close to Winnipeg. But yeah, that concludes episode 5. Thank you very much, you guys. I really do appreciate everyone who came out and who listened, and yeah. For more updates and information, check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Iggy772 for both of those. You can also check out the Winnipeg Senior Baseball League, WSBL. You can just Google that, WSBL. It should be .ballcharts.com, I think. You can see all that stuff there. I'm going to go drink some whiskey and try to enjoy the rest of these baseball games tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I will hopefully talk to you folks all again on Thursday. And remember to live life like a 3-0 count and just swing. Take care. I love you guys. Bye-bye.